Welcome to Alert Tales, where we dive deep into the most gripping stories of real-life experiences. If you love tales that evoke emotion, spark conversation, and connect us all, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community for more captivating stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat.
I sold my virginity for money, and it changed my life. I was 23 when all of this happened. I was born into a Muslim Arab family, obviously dating and sex before marriage was forbidden. I was a broke student who had crippling depression and anxiety and never had time, freedom, or money to do the things I love. I didn't have the money to move out, my parents were controlling on what I wore and where I went. I literally had a curfew. I was so desperate to move out and not waste my early years missing out on everything, just to get married to some Arab Muslim guy who would probably be controlling too. I was literally researching unconventional ways to make money when I read an article about this woman who sold her virginity for $1 million. It was interesting and I entertained the idea, but of course I thought it was too far-fetched and a rare case. Anyways, about a few weeks after this, I was randomly stopped by this guy who was scouting for models for his campaign. Nothing fancy LOL, but he said I was really pretty and had unique ethnic features. This kinda gave me a huge confidence boost. A few days later, at one of my lowest points, I was literally crying myself to sleep. I found this online site where you can literally prostitute yourself to sell your virginity and signed up for it because I thought I have nothing to lose. A couple of months later, I get offered a large life-changing sum of money by this old rich guy. I start to panic and think to back out, but I literally can't turn down the money which could fund my dream life. I pray to God to forgive me and accept his request, lol. I'm not going to get into the whole process, but I had to do a virginity test prior and whatnot. And then the transaction goes through and I feel like I've won the lottery. It was literally surreal having so much money. But then the panic sets in that I can't tell anyone, and I don't know what the hell to do with it. I end up leaving the country pretty soon to go backpacking across Europe to my parents' dismay. I didn't have the courage to do it before in fear they would not let me back home afterward, and I would end up homeless. But now having money, I no longer care and don't need to rely on them anymore. It was so freeing and an amazing experience. After 3 weeks, I came back and bought my first property through auction. It's been 2 years now, and I'm doing good financially, and I still haven't told a single person I know.
My husband hates our dog now that he is old. It honestly breaks my heart. My poor dog is 13 years old. All things considered, he is doing really well. He doesn't have a ton of issues, but he does have cataracts and luxating patellas. He also has minor collapsing trachea. He can't hold his potties as well at night anymore. He often needs to go out once a night or so. My husband will always cause a fuss out of it and call him a bastard. And he will yell at me to take care of the damn dog, which I do. I will always take him out at night. But my husband doesn't even want to hear him ringing the bell. He also can't get up and down off furniture on his own anymore. So I have beds around the house for him, which my husband hates. He thinks it's just clutter. Or I lift him up, which he thinks is spoiling him. Sometimes our dog will try and curl up next to him and my husband just pushes him off the furniture even though he has no way to catch himself. He falls so hard and he doesn't know what's going on. According to my husband, he is a stinky old bastard, but he's just a little guy. He needs some extra help these days. I am willing to take care of him all by myself. I just don't like the bad attitude.
A new video game just saved me from severe food poisoning, so I have ADHD, and one of the things my medication can't help, indeed even exacerbates, is my tendency to hyperfocus. We're talking, I don't realize I'm hungry, thirsty, or need the bathroom until it's physically painful hyperfocus. I carry granola bars in my pocket because I'll forget to eat at work, and I've started tunnel visioning before. That said, I'm a huge BioWare fanboy and Dragon Age the Veilguard dropped on Halloween. I'm currently between employers, so I have all the time in the world. It's been a rough year and I don't get genuinely excited for stuff very often. So I decided, fuck it, I'll play through. Then do it again when I'm done, until I settle into the inevitable DAV burnout and don't pick it up again until I get the urge in like 2028. I've been doing exactly that, except my mom's been in the hospital for over a month for back surgery. She's doing great, but obviously I had to visit her every day for a bit and clean up the house so she can get around. But I live with my sister and nephew, so there's always someone to help her out in recovery and doing stuff. So the other night I was playing, had my headphones on, and I missed the dinner bell. Around 10 p.m. is when I realized I was hungry and had to pee. My sister had made chicken, but I didn't feel like microwaving it, etc. So I grabbed a croissant and went back to it. Yes, that's a bad habit at 41 years old, but like I said, an anomalous situation I had made very well known for months. So I go on with my night and think nothing of it. Yesterday morning I had to help Mom out to the car, and my sister took her to the ER. Turns out Mom has E. coli. My sister was with her in the ER for almost 9 hours waiting for her to be admitted again, as she had been home from rehab for only 2 days. They obviously admitted her. My sister, who's not 73 and recovering from major surgery, was also suffering from digestive issues, but not nearly bad enough that she thought to mention it to medical staff or even put together the two may be related. So because I've been hyper-focusing on Dragon Age the Veilguard so much, I didn't eat the chicken everyone else did. So it has saved me from a pretty serious case of food poisoning. I've had a really annoying cold all week, that's it. I understand for many reasons valid and stupid Veilguard has been divisive amongst DA fans, but at this point I think it's now my favorite in the series.
I'm actually terrified I'm going to be the joke of the school. So last Friday the teacher put me and this dude and his friend into groups, and the second I walk over he says, "Hey, just to clarify, I'm not a dog, so don't eat me." And he says it in front of his friends and they laugh at me together. Then I tried to laugh it off because I thought he was trying to be funny or something. But later he goes, "My name, Cat Chomper," and laughs again, and says that to everyone in the class, and most people thought it was a joke and just laughed it off. So I tried to too. Then I asked to go to the restroom so I can get away for a little bit, and when I come back he yells, "Did you find yourself a golden retriever to eat?" And then announced to the whole class, "My name found herself a feast." And it really hurt. I don't mind my friends joking around with me a little, but he just kept going and I barely know him. Now I don't know what to do because it feels like I'm going to be the joke with all the boys from now on, and I'm scared people will be like, "Oh, my name, Dog Eater," and make this a habit or something. And I'm just scared to go to school for some reason.
My church I've attended for my entire life is falling apart by a scandal. I feel disgusted posting this on a throwaway account. Over the last year, my church has descended into chaos internally. This all started when the congregation found out the priest-pastor was being relocated to another parish in my area. Initially, the church community was disheartened as he hadn't been there very long. For context, this wasn't new for the church, as many priests were moved for various reasons. Weeks go by and people advocated for this priest to stay since he was bringing a lot of positive change to the community. Long story short, it came to light that there was an internal dispute with some members, and the priest who was accused of stealing church funds. As a result, a financial investigation audit was launched. Turns out the priest was innocent and the members were using him as a scapegoat. The reason? They wanted more money for their roles and did anything and everything to do so. So, I needed to get this off my chest because I know the people involved, and whenever I see them in passing at church, it makes me sick and off-put. I can't seem to separate their acts of greed and my initial perception of them. I'm not close per se with these people. I feel like my trust in my church community is shattered though, regardless. I guess I'm just rambling to get this out. Note, I intentionally left out some details for privacy. However, if anyone has questions, I will do my best to answer. Thank you for reading.